Hey, this is Scott Haase, and today I'm going to talk to you about the changeup and some different variations. First of all, though, 3 really important things to consider when you're talking about pitch grips of any kind, and I've talked about this in every video. Number 1 is going to be take into consideration your hand size. If you have really, really small hands, it's going to feel and look different. No matter who's teaching you, it's going to look and feel different. So make sure you take that into consideration. Number 2, comfort. If you need to slightly vary the grip so it's more comfortable in your hand, do that first and foremost. It should not feel completely foreign and really, really uncomfortable. And then number 3 is repetition. In order to execute the pitch and have it feel super comfortable, there is a component where you just need to throw it more often. So, the changeup grip. The first thing I'm going to tell you about is the circle change and why it's called the circle change. Very rarely do I hear or talk to players that know why it's called the circle change. They know that a circle change is where you make a circle and that's how you throw the pitch. The reason it's called the circle change, other than just that, and the reason it was created was actually as a teach. They wanted guys to be able to, when they threw the ball, to what's called pronate, or turn your thumb down, go inside of the baseball, and that was how you would throw the changeup. Is we don't want to be right behind the ball because there's a lot of force, and you want to try and throw it as fast as you can or as normal as you can, but have it be a different speed. Really hard to do that if you aren't rotating inside or outside, because it's just going to go as fast. So they said, let's get our guys to turn their hand down. Okay, they don't understand that. Let's think of a visual. Make a circle and throw the circle. That was the idea. So whether you're righty, same thing. Wherever you put that circle on the baseball, you just throw the circle. That is the circle change. But you don't have to actually make a circle with your finger. I had like a little C, and my thumb really wasn't a big component of it. So let's kind of break it down. Wherever your grip is, I'll show you mine. I chose it like this. So I just had a kind of a loose thumb, and I threw a lot of 4-seam fastball. So it came like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 seams. So I wanted to throw a changeup that looked a little bit like the 4-seam fastball out of my hand as far as the seams and what they did. So I grabbed the 4-seam, and then I really didn't move the ball, so there it is, and I just grabbed it like this. I liked the pressure on this seam right here where I would be pulling down on it. So here's a view, here's a view, here's a view. Go ahead and pause the video if you want to see some of these views from the side. This was it right here. And my thumb was more underneath. But that was my grip, and all I did was the circle change teach, which is to throw it, and basically I was getting on the inside of the baseball, so I could still have pretty similar arm speed where I'm throwing in a similar intensity, but since I'm throwing on the inside of it, it's just going slower. Now, here's a little trick I'm going to teach you, and I'm going to tell you, shh, don't tell your coach that I told you this because they're probably going to be mad. You're allowed to throw the ball slower. Oh my God. Holy crap. Hopefully your coach isn't watching this so they can hear you. Don't tell them I said that. But until you get to like really high level college baseball and then professional baseball, you're going to have coaches that tell you, I can tell from a mile away that that's your changeup. You slow your entire speed down. Your mechanics are all different. Everything looks different. Well, guess what, coach? And don't say this to them. Guess what, coach? I got the guy out. It was an effective pitch. My goal as a pitcher is to get the guy out, however I need to. So if you, coach, can see that I'm throwing a changeup, you're not going to tell them. If their coach can see that I'm going to throw a changeup, they don't have enough time to tell their hitter. If the hitter sees it's a changeup, knows it's a changeup, but doesn't hit the changeup, what's the issue? So you are allowed, and I learned this doing my own lessons with a coach, where he said, I want you to grab a circle change. Here it is. That's all he told me. Grab a circle change, throw it as hard as you can. And then he would radar it, and guess what? The speed was almost the exact same. He'd say, no. Now, let's bury it deep in your hand, which is really uncomfortable, and you've never done that in your entire life, and let's drag your back foot. I don't know what that means, but okay, sure. So he would have me drag my back foot. I would bury it in here. It would be an awful pitch. I couldn't throw it for a strike, which frustrated him. And then it would be like 6 miles per hour slower because I'm still trying to throw it as hard as I can, but with all these messed up mechanics. Then He said, we needed at least 10, but 12 to 15 miles per hour slower would be awesome. And I thought to myself, I didn't say this, that's insane. So what I did was I said, yes, sir, which I would make sure that you do that. I said, yes, sir. I grabbed I did not bury the ball into my palm, which you're gonna hear. I still had it up here, which is where all my other pitches are, up my fingertips. I grabbed a circle change, because that was whatever, fine. I made it comfortable for my hand size and what just felt right. I didn't change my back foot. I didn't bury it, although he thought I did, and he thought I did. What I did was I just threw it slower. And you know what he said? After looking at the gun and seeing like 12 to 14 miles per hour off, he said, there you go. That's the pitch. That's what I'm talking about. Great, coach. So the change up is yes about grip. Find your grip. You can find any variation. I mean, you can go here, you can go here, you can make a really narrow one. You can grip it wherever you want on the baseball. The objective for your hand and the ball coming off of it is just to get inside of the baseball and your hand to rotate. Your hand's not coming out right here. It actually releases out here or up here or wherever it is. But when the ball comes off of your fingers, you're trying to get on the inside of the baseball. That's about it. Make sure it's comfortable so you can guide it and control it and do what it does. But chances are you're gonna actually have to throw slower. They have fancy technology that can track how fast your body moves and everything. And a lot of guys, if you had them all synced up and all the gizmos and gadgets, they would actually be moving at a slower speed so their changeup goes slower. Now, if you throw 98 miles per hour and you can switch up your grip and barely adjust your intensity, by all means, your changeup can be great with a 4 mile per hour difference. But if you're a guy that's throwing 48 or 68 or 88, you need a little bit more difference in your changeup speed. So let's, yes, get on the inside of the baseball, but also you might have to slow your speed down just a little bit. And one last little tip for you, if you forget all of this and you just can't figure out a comfortable grip, here's a super secret, top secret tip for you. This is called a 4-seam fastball right here. We all throw it, almost everybody. You can even do your 2-seam. This is a secret, dirty, nasty change. Take that same 4-seam or 2-seam grip and you throw it just like you would when you're warming up, when you throw to your catcher, when you get your 4 to 6 pitches. You throw it at that speed, BP speed, which is slower than your fastball, which is speed difference. Because of gravity and the ball moving slower, it will actually have a little bit of diving motion. It'll go down a little bit more than your fastball. And there you go. There's a changeup you can throw in game when your changeup doesn't work, when you don't have a changeup, and you still want to get the guy get his timing off and throw a different speed with a different pitch that you didn't have before. So in game, today if you're watching this video, tomorrow if you're going to pitch, whenever it is, you have a changeup now in your back pocket if your other one isn't working or doesn't exist, or maybe you just don't like it. 2 or 4-seam grip, just throw it slower.